What are the leading causes of death in the U.S.? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), there were 2,813,503 registered deaths in the United States in 2017. The age-adjusted death rate, which accounts for the aging population, is 731.9 deaths per 100,000 people in the U.S. This is an increase of 0.4% over 2016's death rate. However, the CDC advised that using age-adjusted rates is inaccurate for ranking causes of death. All figures and percentages provided here come from the most recent data from the CDC, collected in 2017. In this article, we expand on each of the leading causes of death and provide links to more detailed information on each condition. We also rank the causes according to the number of deaths per condition and their percentage share of the overall registered death count in the U.S. 1. Heart disease deaths in 2017 to 647,457. Percentage of total deaths, 23.5%. Heart disease is the leading cause of death trusted source for both men and women. This is the case in the US and worldwide. More than half of all people who die due to heart disease are men. Medical professionals use the term heart disease to describe several conditions. Many of these conditions relate to the buildup of plaque in the walls of the arteries. As the plaque develops, the arteries narrow. This makes it difficult for blood to flow around the body and increases the risk of heart attack or stroke. It can also give rise to angina, arrhythmias, and heart failure. To reduce the risk of dying from heart disease, a person can protect their heart health by adopting a healthful diet and getting regular exercise. Being able to recognize the symptoms of a heart attack can also help people get prompt medical treatment and potentially save their lives. 2. Cancer deaths in 2017 to 599,108. Percentage of total deaths, 21.3%. Cancer occurs when cells do not die at the normal point in their life cycle. If a person's body cannot control the spread of these cells, they can interfere with essential, life-sustaining systems and possibly lead to death. Everyone has some degree of risk, but for most cancers, the risk will increase with age. Some people have a higher or lower risk due to differences in exposure to carcinogens, such as from smoking or exposure to chemical pollutants. Genetic factors also play a strong role in cancer's development. Race and sex also play a role in a person's risk of developing cancer, depending on the type. That said, lung cancer causes more deaths than any other cancer in both men and women. However, researchers are always taking steps to advance cancer treatment. In fact, the death rate from all cancers in the U.S. has dropped by 26% since 1991. Estimated cancer-related deaths for 2019. The American Cancer Society estimate how many people will die from certain types of cancer in 2019. According to them, the leading causes of death from cancer for males will be lung and bronchus cancer, 76,650 deaths; prostate cancer, 31,620 deaths; colorectal cancer, 27,640 deaths. The leading causes of death from cancer for females will be lung and bronchus cancer, 66,020 deaths; breast cancer, 41,760 deaths; colorectal cancer, 23,380 deaths. 3. Unintentional injuries. Deaths in 2017 to 169,936. Percentage of total deaths, 6%. Accidents, or unintentional injuries, are the fourth leading cause of death in the U.S. overall, and the leading cause of death for those aged 1 to 44. Possible prevention measures. Accidents are unintentional and usually unavoidable. However, there are many ways to reduce the risk of accidental injury and death. Some key components of accident prevention include focusing on road and workplace safety, such as using a seatbelt and never driving or operating heavy machinery while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. 4. Chronic lower respiratory disease. Deaths in 2017 to 160,201. Percentage of total deaths, 5.7%. Chronic lower respiratory disease refers to a group of lung conditions that block the airflow and cause breathing-related issues. These diseases include chronic obstructive pulmonary disease (COPD), bronchitis, emphysema, asthma. Smoking drastically increases trusted source a person's risk of developing these conditions. In this article, learn more about what smoking does to the body, as well as the benefits of quitting. Learn more about COPD here. 5. Stroke and cerebrovascular diseases. Deaths in 2017 to 146,383. Percentage of total deaths, 5.2%. Cerebrovascular diseases develop due to problems with the blood vessels that supply the brain. 4 of the most common cerebrovascular diseases are stroke, transient ischemic attack or mini-stroke, subarachnoid hemorrhage, vascular dementia. Every year, more than 795,000 people in the U.S. have a stroke. The risk of stroke varies with race, ethnicity, and age. The highest death rates from stroke in the U.S. occur in the Southeast. 6. Alzheimer's disease. Deaths in 2017 to 121,404. Percentage of total deaths, 4.3%. Dementia refers to a group of conditions that cause a decline in cognitive function. This affects a person's ability to perform everyday activities. Damage to the nerve cells in the brain causes dementia. As a result of the damage, neurons can no longer function normally and may die. This, in turn, can lead to changes in memory, behavior, and the ability to think clearly. Alzheimer's disease is just one type of dementia. Another type, called vascular dementia, can cause similar symptoms but instead results from changes to blood flow to the brain. For people with Alzheimer's disease, neuron damage and death eventually impair their ability to perform essential actions, such as walking and swallowing. People in the final stages of this condition may not be able to leave their bed and may require around-the-clock care. Alzheimer's is ultimately fatal. In the U.S., an estimated 5.8 million people currently have Alzheimer's disease, according to the Alzheimer's Association. This figure may rise to 14 million people by 2050 as life expectancy continues to increase. Alzheimer's is also the only cause of death in the top 10 that medical experts cannot cure, prevent, or slow down. 7. Diabetes deaths in 2017 to 83,564. Percentage of total deaths, 3%. Diabetes is a condition wherein the body can no longer control blood glucose, which leads to dangerously high levels of blood glucose. This is called hyperglycemia. Persistent hyperglycemia can damage the body's tissues, including those in the nerves, blood vessels, and eyes. The body converts most of the food people eat into glucose, a simple sugar, which it can then use for energy. The pancreas, an organ near the stomach, makes a hormone called insulin to move glucose from the bloodstream into the cells. There are 2 main types of diabetes, type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. The bodies of people with type 1 diabetes do not produce insulin at all, so these people need to supplement their supply. The bodies of people with type 2 diabetes cannot use insulin effectively. However, it is possible to control the risk of type 2 diabetes with careful dietary management and regular exercise. Diabetes can cause serious health complications, including heart disease, blindness, kidney failure, and the need for amputation of the lower extremities. 8. Influenza and pneumonia. Deaths in 2017 to 55,672. Trusted source. Percentage of total deaths, 2%. Influenza, or flu, is a highly contagious viral infection. It is one of the most severe illnesses of the winter season. Flu spreads easily from person to person, usually when someone who carries the virus coughs or sneezes. A person can have the flu more than once, as many different strains of the virus can cause infection. They may belong to one of 3 different influenza families, A, B or C. Type of viruses tend to affect adults more severely. Trusted source, while type B viruses most often cause health problems in children. Type C viruses are fairly uncommon. Pneumonia, a serious condition that causes inflammation of the lungs, can cause complications in people who have the flu. Pneumonia causes the air sacs in the lungs to fill with pus and other fluids, preventing oxygen from reaching the bloodstream. If there is too little oxygen in the blood, the body's cells cannot function. This can be fatal. 9. Kidney disease. Deaths in 2017 to 50,633. Trusted source. Percentage of total deaths, 1.8%. Nephritis, nephrotic syndrome, and nephrosis are all conditions that affect the kidneys. Chronic kidney disease, CKD, causes kidney damage. Damaged kidneys cannot filter blood as well as healthy kidneys. As a result of this, waste from the blood remains in the body and may lead to other health problems. Around 30 million people in the US may have CKD to some degree. Being over 60 years old increases the risk of CKD, as does having a family history of it. High blood pressure and diabetes are most likely to cause the CKD. CKD develops in stages, and it does not usually cause symptoms until its most advanced stage. So, undergoing regular screenings can help reduce a person's risk of dying from kidney disease. 10. Suicide. Deaths in 2017 to 47,173. Trusted source. When a person dies by suicide, they may have lived with a mental health condition, such as depression, anxiety, or bipolar disorder, for a long time. However, not all people who attempt suicide or die by it have these conditions. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among people aged 10 to 34 years. Establishing a strong support network, taking appropriate medications, and seeking therapy may help reduce the risk of suicide. Suicide prevention. If you know someone at immediate risk of self-harm, suicide, or hurting another person, call 911 or the local emergency number. Stay with the person until professional help arrives. Remove any weapons, medications, or other potentially harmful objects. Listen to the person without judgment. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, a prevention hotline can help. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available 24 hours a day at 1-800-273-8255. Find more at GREATFITLIFE.com.